What's up, MFFLs? Harrison Graham here with another episode of Dallas Mavericks Today. And today's show is sponsored by Mint Mobile. As prices go up everywhere with inflation, you can reduce your price on your cell phone bill with plans starting at just $15 per month at mintmobile.com/chatsports. We'll talk a little bit more about them and some of the other benefits later on in the show, but check the copy, the description, the comments, mintmobile.com/chatsports, and get started today. Could the Dallas Mavericks trade for Tobias Harris? So I was scouring the internet for some Mavericks rumors today, and I saw an interesting trade idea proposed by NBA Trade Alerts on Instagram, and they sent this trade idea across the wire. Tobias Harris and Matisse Thybulle would come to Dallas in return for Tim Hardaway Jr., Reggie Bullock, and Dwight Powell. So you kind of initially look at this and you're like, okay, that's a pretty even trade, which kind of leaves me conflicted, right? Because I think my initial reaction to the trade is, okay, Dallas gets the best player in the trade in Tobias Harris. I don't think there's any doubt about that. But you lose Tim Hardaway Jr., albeit you didn't have him for most of last year, especially in the playoffs. You lose Reggie Bullock, though, who's a really good 3-and-D player and established himself as a key player down the stretch of last year. Dwight Powell, I don't really care about losing him in this trade, while also getting Matisse Thybulle, who's a great defender but needs work offensively. So I'm a little bit conflicted. So before I kind of dive into it a little bit more and give more of my thoughts, I want to get your thoughts. You interact in the show right now. Who wins this trade? Type M for the Mavs, type 76 for the 76ers. Who do you think wins this trade right now? So Tobias Harris, like I mentioned, is clearly the best player in this trade. Now, he's expensive. He makes over $35 million per year, but this is kind of a 17 to 20-point scorer, 7 rebounds. He can dish a little bit. He can get out to the three-point line, shot 37% from out there last year. Efficient scorer, too. He can put the ball on the deck, over 48% from the floor. He can get to the rack mid-range. He can post up smaller defenders, and like I said, he can shoot from three as well. He's a really good scorer. I mean, he's a complete offensive player. Now he's not a number one. I mean, he's kind of a really good number three on a team. So if you did bring him here, you probably would still be lacking a two next to Luka, but you'd have him and Christian Wood, who are kind of number three types. And I think with other role players around them, that would still be a pretty good team around Luka Doncic. Now, when I'm ranking the players in this trade, like I said, Toby's the best, Tobias Harris, Tim Hardaway and Reggie Bullock, probably the next two, Matisse Thybulle 4, then I would say a distant drop to Dwight Powell. I think 2 through 4 all bring different things. I would lean Tim Hardaway, more of a vet, proven scorer, a guy who's averaged, around 20 points in this league before. I don't think he'll do that, but 15, 16 points. Reggie Bullock, 3-and-D sniper type. And then Thybulle, who's the best defender out of this group, but he just needs work offensively. My biggest drawback of this trade idea is the Mavs shooting would take a hit from three-point range, especially at the guard position. You think about it. You trade Tim Hardaway Jr. and Reggie Bullock. You lose two of your better three-point shooters. You already lost Jalen Brunson, your second-best guard this offseason. Who are your guards after that? Luka Doncic, Spencer Dinwiddie, and who? Josh Green? Frank Ntilikina? You'd be pretty thin at that guard spot if you did this trade. Sure, you get Tobias Harris, who's a really good player, but that would be my hesitation. And yes, you get Matisse Thybulle back to help in the backcourt, but you would really lose a lot of shooting from that guard spot if you made this trade. Now, I want you guys to send in your best trade ideas, because coming up on a future video, maybe Sunday we'll do this, early next week, depending on what news and rumors are floating out there. We'll do a video based on your trade ideas. So cook up some trade ideas in the comments down below, and we'll pick the best one. So load them up and stay tuned for a video in the coming days. Now, I appreciate Mint Mobile for sponsoring today's show and for lowering prices on my bills. Because, listen, inflation is very real right now. We're trying to deal with it, and cell phone bills are getting up there. But with Mint Mobile, you can switch to them with your same phone, by the way, just like I did. I used to be with a different cell phone company. They sent me an eSIM card, was able to do it all digitally, didn't have to wait in line, was able to switch to Mint Mobile in about 15 minutes. It doesn't take very long at all. And they're like all legitimate legitimate cell phone providers, unlimited talk and text. You have the high-speed data, the largest LTE 5G network out there. Mobile hotspot for free, and like I said, those plans starting at just $15 per month. I mean, it's a game changer. Other bills are going up, groceries, gas, that type of stuff. If you can save a little money elsewhere, like on that cell phone bill, highly recommend that you do it. It's really easy to switch your phone over. You can keep the same number as well, which is nice, so you don't have to tell your friends or family about a new phone number. mintmobile.com/chatsports. It's worthwhile. Trust me, you're going to want to get started today. Link in the comments and in the description. mintmobile.com/chatsports. Plans starting at just $15 per month. All right, Josh Green did a sit-down interview with basketballnews.com, Alex Kennedy, and, this kind of feels like a make-or-break year for Josh, who's entering year 3. I wanted to, hit a quote or two here and then kind of break down how we're feeling about Josh Green at the moment. Here's what Green had to say. Said, I think the biggest thing for me is just realizing what I need to do to help the team out. I'm not trying to work on stuff that I'm not going to do in a game. I'm coming in with full confidence, knowing what I need to do, and being ready to go. I'm more motivated than ever. And I think as this roster currently sits, let's say the Mavs don't make any more notable moves. Maybe they add a cheap guy on the end of the roster for the 15th man. Hopefully they do more, but let's say they don't. I think you need Josh Green to make a step. He's got to be a guy that's in the rotation. Now, that doesn't mean 25, 30 minutes a game, but 15 to 18 minutes a night, playing every single night. I think as the roster currently sits, you would like to have that out of Josh Green. I don't think that's too far-fetched to say. And entering year 3, he's got to take that jump. We need to see more out of Josh Green. He has certainly improved from his rookie to second year. But as we saw in the playoffs, he's still a liability offensively at this point in time. This is a big year coming up for him. You really need him to take a step if he's going to be a part of this nucleus moving forward. So we'll wait and see if that happens. We'll talk about some of the areas he needs to improve on specifically in a moment. But help us help you. You guys subscribe to the channel and turn on those notifications, and then we'll provide you with videos. You'll be able to stay in the loop with free Dallas Mavericks videos. So go ahead and subscribe. Turn on that notification bell. That way you know exactly when we publish videos here on this channel. We publish videos for free on almost a daily basis, especially during the off season. So stick with us. YouTube.com/MavsTV. Subscribe and turn on those notifications. You look at Josh Green through 2 seasons. Obviously, as a rookie, didn't do much at all. This past year, did a little more. He's playing when he got to play, 15.5 minutes per game, just under 5 points. The overall field goal percentage was good, and the three-point percentage wasn't bad. Now it's a small sample size, and something I really want to point out is in the playoffs, 22.7% from 3. I think you're closer to that than the 36%, probably somewhere in between, maybe 30% guy right now, 32%. He's got to be a 35, 37% guy consistently, and I mean like in high leverage games too. You go back to that Utah series, especially when Luka was out and he was having to play minutes. The Jazz didn't respect him. It was 4-on-5 or 5-on-4 in favor of the Jazz when the Mavs had the ball offensively. They just left Green open in the corner. He couldn't make him pay. He's got to be able to knock down those type of shots, because if he does, he can become a legitimate rotation piece. He's a good defender. He's a good energy guy, and he's got the opportunity to establish himself here. With Jalen Brunson gone, there are some more guard minutes to eat up if you are Josh Green, and you need more perimeter defenders around Luka, which Green can provide. But if he can't be a little more consistent offensively, you can't play him consistent minutes, because then you're just you're disabled on that side of the court, and that is a problem. How confident are you that Josh Green will improve and be more of that consistent player? Scale it from 1 to 10, 1 being not at all confident, 10 being very confident. Like a 5, I don't know. I mean, we've seen some things, but big offseason coming up. Producer Sam's at a 3. He's more pessimistic than I am, and I can't blame him. I mean, I'm still having nightmares after not drafting Desmond Bane that year, my boy out of TCU. But, we can't go back in time, unfortunately. Scale it of 1 to 10. How confident are you that Josh Green will improve? All right, that's going to do it for Dallas Mavericks today. Be sure to subscribe. Submit in those trade ideas as well. We'll cook up a video in the coming days based on those. I'll react to all of your trade ideas, so load them up in the comment section, and we will see you next time here on Mavericks Today by Chat Sports.